Hello everyone, I am the Halfwit Brit and this is Manor Lords. Here we are in Goldhof. Pay no attention to those screams and the flames in the front of us here. Just listen to the serene sounds of that stream and the birds tweeting. Oh god, are we in such a situation here? Yes. As you can see, the raiders have already started to burn down Goldhof. Are our troops on the way? Well, yes they are, but they're so far away. It just doesn't look like they're going to get here in time. This town is going to be plundered and burnt to the ground before they even get here, unfortunately. And obviously, if you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe and like and comment down below about how much of a half-wit I am. Anyway, as the buildings burn, I mean, there's some lessons to be learned. You can see my troops are miles away, and they are on run, by the way. But I'm sort of watching this, you know, blissfully aware of my shortcomings here and what we need to do going forward. Yes. One, we have no troops over here. That was our first mistake. And two, I think we need to make sure that we have this region settled and the bulk of our troops in the center. Although I suppose if we had our manor over here, we probably would have been in a slightly better place as well. There is that. Now, if I'm right in thinking, once they've burnt everything down, I think they leave. I think. And if that's the case, then we're in a good place. But if it's not the case, then we're in a little bit of trouble. So yes, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the chaos that is ensuing. Now, as far as I can tell, the villagers are attempting to put the fires out, but as you can see, we still have some bandits. Now, the reason they're saying there's no food is because they literally have no access to food, but the troops are still here. Ours are on the way, but they're just taking so long, and I think they are running. Oh, wait a minute, they're walking. Oh, too fatigued to run. Okay, so they're knackered already. But I just saw a broken here, so I'm hoping... Yeah, they're leaving. So we may be okay. So we need to make sure that we get our granary and our forager hut and our hunting camp in first. There is still some troops here, so we may or may not get those built in time, but the villagers are trying their best, bless them, to try and put the fires out, which is slow going. So the troops are coming, but I'm not sure if they've all ran off or not. I can't see them anywhere. They could be hiding amongst the trees. Kill them all. They're definitely still here. We're getting there slowly, but I'm not sure what this kind of means for Goldhof. But once the fires are out and the troops have disappeared, it does look like they're potentially leaving. So there's some here, there's some over there. Yeah, I think they're doing a runner. Maybe they're aware we're on our way. What a lovely start to a video, I must say. What's kind of funny to me, the only building they didn't burn down here was the charcoal kiln. Sort of makes sense when you think about it, that they've just been aiding our efforts. But anyway, it does appear that they have done a runner. I could hear them talking then, but I think for the most part they are gone. Hopefully, he says. So what that means is that these troops have run all this way basically for nothing. So we'll send them back. We will need to disband them as well because it's June. As you can see, it's about time to harvest. In the last episode, we did have some issues with malt. And I think I said in there, sometimes when you reload a game, it sometimes fixes the issues. So you can see 2 here are transporting. I'm going to add another family in there. And just while I'm fixing the chaos that is Goldhof, it'll be interesting to see. Oh, enemy unit's been spotted. We may have to go back, actually. Let's see where they are. Okay, so they're still in the area, but they're seemingly interesting. Let's bring you guys over here and the archers. We'll send the other 2 back. They could just be potentially leaving. Hopefully they are, but we do need to make sure we get the food sorted first. So the granary, yeah. And then we need to make sure we get the market stalls rebuilt as well, because if they can't have access to food, That is going to be an issue. I know they've not got a roof over their head, but if they starve, that's going to be a big problem for us. Now, where did they go? Did they just vanish into thin air? They can't have moved that quick, surely. Oh, interesting. Maybe they did vanish. Well, I'm going to keep my archers and my retinue here just a little bit longer, just in case. It could be they're just leaving the area. But as you can see, I think it looks like we lost at least one person here. So that is a problem. They're currently looking for somebody, so are they. And I think that's just possibly where they don't have a home. It could well be. Hunting camp shouldn't have a market stall. The forager's hut shouldn't have a market stall. So we'll switch those off. The granary should. That is correct. In fact, rubble. So let's start rebuilding the houses. Maybe that's what they need in order to be happy. But it could have been a lot worse. Now, if this had been the Baron himself, we'd been in a lot worse place when you kind of think about it. So we should be fairly thankful for kind of how it sort of transpired, I guess. I have no clue where they went. So maybe we will send these back after all, because we are going to need them shortly. We'll disband you. We'll send you back on your merry way. So let's have a quick look. We have 9 ale and 67 barley, apparently. Did I just see there? So some of that has been used, so I guess that is sort of working now. Sausage-wise, I don't think we're quite there yet. But I'm guessing we will start to produce some shortly once the salt makes its way. Well, I say that. We've just had our salt producing area ransacked, so maybe not. And we can see some of these fields are currently ready to go. Now, the issue we had over here was the approval was too low, so nobody was moving in. We had loads of houses built, but yeah, no one doing anything. The other problem was bread. Now, we have 10 bread, but these guys here were not going and collecting the stuff. As you can see, they are now producing. It's a little bit weird. It's strange what a reload of the game will fix. I feel like that's potentially what the issues were, so we'll keep an eye on that and see how things go. But yeah, some of those weird sort of niggly little bits that were kind of, I was obsessing over, you could say, in the last video. Maybe just a quick reload would have fixed them, but if it all seems to work fine now, then we'll go with that being the issue. And next time it happens, I'll reload during the game, and then we'll kind of see if it actually fixes it or not. I don't know if I need to switch that on and off. Aha, I do. So we're just unassign, reassign. And that, okay, that one was already done. Does that fix all of them? It seemingly did. Unless it was just waiting for a house to be built. So they're saying no food currently. Clothing stall is abandoned. Firewood stall. Food stall is abandoned. How can that be? There is a family in here. Is it just that they've got no goods? I think that's the problem, but hopefully we should. We've got plenty of berries to go and gather at the moment, so we should have food shortly. We may have to bring some of that lovely bread over here as well. That's something to consider as well. But we'll let them... In fact, I'll just tell them to build all the buildings. I'm guessing they'll do this in some kind of priority anyway. Let's put the houses on high, because we don't want them being unhappy for too long. And we also have 4 people to bury, so we have to think about that too. Wow, what a wonderful start to an episode. Excitement. I was going to say, it can only get boring from here potentially, but I don't know. The Baron will be knocking at our door very soon as well. I mean, I could leave my retinue nearby, but that would be the obvious strategy, wouldn't it? But we do definitely need to settle the middle lands here, because if at the moment most of my troops are based here in Mintingham, if we can get as many of our troops centered around here, and maybe the odd one, so what do we get altogether? 6 militia that we can have. So maybe if we have 4 in the middle and 1 in each one of these, plus their associated retinue, it'll allow me to send people any which way quicker than just from one side of the map to the other. So maybe that's something we need to take a look at. Now over here we are short of people, because it is about harvest season, and when I look around, so there's no one in the windmill currently. Weaver's workshop, how are we doing for linen? Oh, sorry, flax. We have 27, but how much linen do we have? We have none at all. Okay. So that's one thing. The malt house has 2 people in here, and it does seem now that they're actually working. Absolutely fascinating and infuriating. But the happiness is coming up, and it's dropped back to 47 for some apparent reason. Maybe that's just historical kind of issues. But I'm going to have to take a family out of each of these, even though I just put them in there. What else can I pinch people from? They've all got market stuff. Ooh, that means more crossbows. I can see some iron parts. What about in here? They've all got market stalls as well. Excellent. Oh, is that a little quick save? It certainly is. So where else can I pinch people? We need no planks. We will need timber. Firewood, we have a fair amount. 14 months. So I could potentially pinch some out of those as well. Ooh. Yeah, we'll do that. It should be fine. Someone should take over that. Bloomery, we'll potentially take someone from there as well. Just for the time being, because we need to harvest. We got loads of foresters huts. You can definitely see they've planted quite a bit. I could take some of them if I need to. But there's not many other buildings that I feel comfortable taking people from. Actually, we take some from the hunter as well. Trading post only has the 1. Livestock should only have the 1 family as well. Okay, I was hoping for more people over here, but naturally, the unhappiness just doesn't drive any population to move in, which is, you know, slightly sad. So I think in here, if we put 4, that leaves me 4. And if anyone else moves in the meantime, we'll deal with that as we can. So let's get these fields here harvested. I was just checking. Oh, turn that off. They're all ready to go. This is a lot of barley. We will definitely need to put people back in those. I almost forget what they're called. What they called, the malt house. You know, I've talked about them so much. You think I'd remember their names? How are we doing for fish? Oh, we are fishing. I'll leave them in there. I don't know how we do. Yeah, fish is not great, but it's not terrible either. So if they start with those fields, that would be great. And the other ones are not too far behind. This one's going to be a monster of a field. In fact, it's already got high priority anyway, so they should do that one first. We're not building anything over here currently, so I can put all 4 in. You know, some people over here may not like that, but it is what it is. Bread, 7, so that is starting to creep up now. And so is the ale. Madness. I should have just reloaded my last game, shouldn't I? we wouldn't have had all those issues, but never mind. It, you know, it is what it is. I've already said that. I've said it again, but it is the truth. Okay, so the gatherers are going to go and get some berries. It looks like they already have, but I think it's just one of those things. It's a little bit slow going at the moment. And that's not a good sign from the animals sort of perspective. We have 2 meat. I can see we've got a minus on the old timber there as well, but once this kicks in again, we should be fine. It looks like most of the houses are done. The church, yeah, still needs to be done as well. Hitching posts, these are fine. Don't need those just yet. So the main thing is making sure we have food. Now we do have a point to spend. That was going to be for deep mining. I think I did mention sheep over here. That's something else we could do as well. Interesting. I don't feel like any of these really apply. I think sheep breeding would make sense for the amount of salt we're going to have, even though we can transport it elsewhere. So I think that's possibly where the point will go, or the deep mining. However, I don't need to spend it right now. There's a lot bigger problems to deal with. What's interesting here is saying that we have no fuel. Did they pinch everything? It looks like they did. So we actually need... Take the person out of there. They're going to need to work in this one first. Unfortunately, I think that's just the way it's going to be. So just thinking of Goldhof's plight over there. So what we're sending over there, shoes and yarn. I think, albeit they need both of those, I may send them some bread. Now we don't have a great deal at the moment, but I think it sort of makes sense. And we're going to, hopefully, if things go well, oh that's lovely, roll tax, thank you. What do we have? 2 currently, but hopefully we can send some over there because I think they're going to need some additional help. As we can see, these fields have been cleared. So next season, you're going to be wheat. Wheat. What else do we have? I think most of these could potentially become wheat. It's slim pickings. There's not like a great fertility of the other ones, but I'll take what I can. Yeah, these can all be wheat. Perfect. We're just going to turn off the early harvest because I always forget to do so. Hopefully I remember to remove this field as well once they're done with it, because I did want houses here, so fingers crossed I get that correct. This field's been ploughed quite well. Ugh. I guess barley for this one. We'll switch that off. So we're in August still. Most of these, how are we looking? Yeah, we can get some more early harvests going on here, I think. We just want to get them as far ahead as possible. That would really be useful. 39 and 40, 38. Yeah, because most of them are where they need to be. But obviously there's still so much to do. Running out of fuel, I'm sure they are. That is a lovely shade of blue. I mean, at least... I don't even know if I want to say this, but at least we don't have a drought. Right, what have we got going on here? Are these all pigs? They are. Now, hopefully some people move into these. Now, the approval is at 50%. Ale 36 seats, definitely working now. How infuriating that is. As for bread... Now, I think I did have 2 families in it. Alright, I've set it up for 2 families. Yeah, they're starting to move in, I can see now. So transporting, yeah. Now, upgrading that to level 3 would probably be useful as well. Because I'd rather have one, like, kind of plot just dealing with the bread, especially when it's sort of so close to everything that it needs. So with any luck, that will sort of take care of itself. Ooh, look what I've just seen. Sausages. Spoilage low. So it does actually last quite a while. That's really good. But at least we're now actually taking the meat that we have and using the salt as well and turning it into sausages. And what is the actual, does it tell me on here? So 1 salt, 1 meat equals 2 sausages. So it doubles the meat essentially, and they're going to need that over here. If we're looking up here, it's mostly fuel, that's the issue. But as these berries are no longer growing, food is going to become a tiny bit of a problem. Let's just have a quick look, because I think they've basically cleared that area, which is not good. So we'll move that over there. How many wild animals? We currently have 11. So they are slowly but surely working their way. I'm going to drop that down a bit, because I am concerned about food in the long run, but hopefully we're okay. And if we can manage to bring some bread across as well, that would be absolutely splendid. So we are in October and harvest is in full swing. All the fields have been harvested. Now we're just ploughing and sowing the seeds for next year. I do like to obviously take control of this and make sure fields are completed fully by just switching on the high and make sure everybody... I mean, because it's so irritating, like they've left such a little slither there that even some of the crops have already started to grow. So yeah, usually I like just to kind of focus their attention a little bit just to get things done. Otherwise, I don't feel like they always manage to do it in time. So that is, I guess, kind of a top tip, I guess, for a lack of a better way of putting it. And over in Goldhof, I think we may have a slight problem. Fuel is going to pick up. Currently, we only have the 1 woodcutter doing their thing, but we also have someone making charcoal. And as you can see, we've got quite a bit of charcoal in here, so that's going to take care of itself. But now we have no berries, and it's not even like a rich deposit of wild animals here. So this is going to become a little bit concerning. Now, just looking at the food, we're at -2 sausages somehow. I'm not too sure. But we do have 20 regional wealth, so technically I could do that, which is 2 meat every 150 days, but I feel like it's the logical thing to do. So we shall do that, and at least it gives us a little bit of something else. As you can see, we do have some meat in that. I'd like the butcher realistically to go and collect that, but I don't think that's going to happen. No, they're just waiting. Unfortunately. Yes. It's a bit of a predicament we got going on. However, I am bringing some bread over here, so hopefully one of these has some bread with them. In fact, there's quite a few, because this is obviously 2 I call them hitching posts. What are they called? the pack stations. So I have 2 pack stations. One of them is taking bread. So fingers crossed we get some of that over there. And judging by the fact I have 0 currently, that may be something that's actually happening. And if we take a quick nosy in here, transporting, how much flour do we actually have currently? 190, so there's plenty of flour waiting there. And we have someone in the windmill. Actually, I don't even know why I've done that, because they've not done the thrashing yet. Thrashing? Thresh? We'll say it wrong. Let's check. Threshing. There we go. So they've not done that yet, so that makes little sense. However, I'm a little bit short on timber, so we will put someone in there. We can see some of the trees have come up really nice now. We're in a good place there. This field looks to me like it's been done. This one, I'd say... Yep, that one's done. Oh, winter is approaching. Ooh. That ominous sound. And this one is almost done as well. If I just... Yeah, drop that off there. Perfect. It looks like most of them are done. They may be a little bit far behind here, so I'm just going to kind of guide them through it, and hopefully things turn out for the best. And it looks like they're onto their last field now. This is on a medium level, so all the ones have been planted. So yeah, I think we've done okay. Fish-wise, the numbers are starting to dwindle a little bit. I may take the person out of here because we're going to need them for some other things, but I'm not overly concerned. We do have an abundance of sheep. Now, I'm wondering if we look in here. See, there's a lot of waiting and peddling. So if I look at the food, sausages says 0. Weirdly enough. And they don't seem to be making sausages. And at the same time, they don't appear to be butchering sheep. So do we have to switch between the two? This is what we'll find out now. So I've now switched it. Yeah, the focus is meat. So you technically need 2 butchers. So if I just give them a second, see what happens, because we literally have a bajillion sheep. Let's have a look. 45 sheep and 56 lambs. So hopefully they will start dealing with this influx of sheep that we have. So yeah, technically you need 2 butchers. One to butcher the animals and one to make sausages. There we go, getting animals. So that is now working. But I'm going to have to get another house in here that I can turn into a butcher's. I'll do that shortly. A couple of things I want to check. Ale, 118. That's clearly working now. Bread. Where are we? Bread is slow. So I may or may not reload the game and see if it makes a difference. Because they definitely have flour. They're not doing anything. But let me upgrade that to level 3 first. We'll get that done. And if they're still not doing it, I'll do a quick reload and see what happens. Because it's slightly infuriating, to say the least. Ah, they definitely are butchering now. We can see we have plenty of meat there. And we have a quick look up here. 62. So rather than get my additional butchers in, I think I'll just switch to sausages for the time being. We still have a fair amount of sheep and lambs. So as you can see, we have several pastures. So hopefully what will happen now is that they will start making sausages. And I guess the best way of seeing this is just to sit and watch and see if anything appears here. I'd like to think it will. All I can see is them carrying off the carcasses, or at least someone's taking them. So currently, yeah, no sausages, but I'm guessing that they will happen shortly. How are we getting on with the bakery over here? It's been upgraded, so we're almost there. I'm just keeping a little bit of an eye over on, is it Goldhof? I think it's called, isn't it? Yeah. So we are bringing over here currently. I was going to do bread, but I decided meat may be a good idea, because then they can turn it into sausages, and also something else. I think it was vegetables. Now, I could actually bring sheep over here. Let's think about that for a second. If I put a sheep farm, let me think about this. Where would be a good place? So some of this is... Where's that? Utility. Technically, I probably should have planted some crops when I think about it, but never mind. I think the sheep farm would look fairly nice here. We can put the pasture in. And technically, I should be able to trade them for free, right? I think. Let me just double check. I don't know if I can or not. Oh, it'd have to be through an animal trader, wouldn't it? So if we look at import, full trade, export, and I could turn the internal thing off, but they'd still have to pay. That's the downside. And they don't have the cash to do so. But I mean, at least we'll get that building in anyway. And it's probably cheaper for me to buy them from myself. I would venture, I guess. And what else do we need over here? Should everything kind of actually work properly? Yeah, 15 stone. We got the stone. Take somebody out there. Once we have the planks, we should be able to build our manor. But yeah, food's a bit concerning at this stage. Just had a quick look. I saw the 1.1k and I'm like, oh my goodness, what on earth is all that? Look at the wool. 434. I may have to sell some of it, but depends what this weaver's workshop is up to. So if I have a look, we have no linen. We probably have a lot of flax, 119. So they do have some flax in there. Maybe they need an extra couple of pairs of hands. Let's see if that makes a blind bit of difference. Hopefully it will. And we're still waiting for that bakery. Looks like it needs one more roof tile. And then we can see if that's actually working any better. I am sort of thinking to put in another pack station and start sending more food across to Goldhof, but it's what can they trade? I mean, we could take stone, I suppose, but it's going to be a very, very rough winter over here, I think. So our bakery is now level 3. So let's have a quick look. Oh, that's a positive sign straight away. Some bread, some flour. What is the 2 families currently in here transporting? Yeah, I feel like there's some weird glitches going on where buildings just sort of forget what they're supposed to be doing. So that is a positive sign. That should mean that we're now going to start building up on our bread. Now, obviously, 2 more families can move in here. Some would say that's a waste, but for me, that's a lot of people to go and collect the goods. And we also have more flour being produced. How are we getting on in here? There's still a little bit of wheat left. What about the one over here? Just the one. So, yeah, not too bad. Are we frozen over? We are. We've also got all these lovely new burgage plots over here as well. Hopefully some more people move in. But the wool is ridiculous. Let's have a look in our weaver's workshop. So they are making yarn, so it is happening. It's just obviously slow going. There's a lot of transporting going on, as I can see there. Sausages, how are we getting on? 2. 2 so far. I think we're definitely going to need a butcher's that just solely deals with making sausages. So I may have to put another... In fact, we'll do that now. We'll keep it all sort of nearby. If I get myself a burgage plot, let me think. Yeah, we'll do it on this side. And to be fair, this doesn't need to be too big as long as it's got the space out the back like so. That will do it nicely for us. And we don't have anyone in the hunting camp, so we can put someone in there. Just trying to make sure everything... Why have you got no ale? Excuse me. It's 135. How dare you moan about ale? Put somebody else in here. Transport. Okay, so they're all probably... Are you rolling a barrel? You are. That's the main thing. And you're going to get ale. Okay. Where's the other ones? What are you doing? Transporting ale. It doesn't appear to me that you are, but maybe it's just getting the ale into this building. In fact, we don't have any spare people. I was just going to say I'll put a 3rd one in there, but that will have to do for now. Oh, there we go. They're no longer complaining about it. Perfect. But there's something slightly interesting. I just had a quick look in the granary here, and it appears we have flour. I don't know if I've made a mistake somewhere. So, I guess that's some kind of food. I have just no clue whatsoever how that's arrived in here. Where's the communal baker? Oh my goodness. Let's have a quick look. That's the food cart. See, now there is something we could have potentially have done. Communal oven, there we are. This is going to be a very short-lived building, but in fact, let's just put it near the market. Let's get that on the highest of priorities. It's a little bit weird. Oh, there we go. And vegetables. So they're the things that I've been bringing across for the other region. The other one will be meat and veg. I don't know how... I think the flour looks a little bit like salt, so maybe I've clicked the wrong thing somewhere. How are we looking now? So if I... Still saying food for 2 months, but we got some sausages there as well, so that is actually a positive. We may may just about scrape through. Hopefully these berries, when they come back, really help us, because I think that's going to be key. I'll tell you something, I didn't think we'd make it to January in Goldhof. Just looking at the food, we're now at 5 months. And there we go, there's the meat that's been dropped off. The carrots, obviously, the flour is still there that we've not used. Whew, what a sigh of relief. And what we've got here, a mule following. So I don't know if you're dropping anything off or you just have. Are you going back? I'm not too sure. Let's see where you're going. Let's follow you. Oh, he's dropped off even more carrots. Oh, they're definitely in a good place now. Let me just double check. Food 6 months. Yes, I'm definitely relaxed. Right, so just on that basis, we need to come back over here. I'm happy with the salt that we're bringing, but we don't want to keep pinching their food. So what were we doing? Shoes in one of them. And the other one, I mean, I could still send the meat, but I don't think we need to. I think it was yarn. There we are. And we'll send those things over there just to give them the additional clothing. And this has been built. That needs to be upgraded to a level 2 when we can, so we can make another butcher's. How are we doing for meat? Too bad. I mean, food's at 6 months, which is pretty bad. I guess we've just given a load away, but as long as this baker does their job. I mean, they're all transporting. Oh, there's another family in here as well, which is quite useful. Let me just see what you're doing. What are you transporting? Oh, wrong button. Transporting water. Eee, do you need water? Maybe you do. I mean, it makes sense. It doesn't say. It just says flour. Well, as long as they're bringing what's needed. I'm still not overly sure that 5 bread is where we should be at this point. They're transporting as well. Where are we for barley? We still got loads of barley. Grain, we got 133, so this building should be absolutely going mental. Just cranking out all the flour that we need. In fact, we can put another family in there for whatever use that is. How are we getting through the wool? Slowly but surely. I can see we do have a bit of linen now. That's a positive in itself. And how are we doing for ale? 129. The tavern has got 13. We'll get another one in there. Malt house. Transporting. Again, let's just top up these buildings, I think, and hopefully just speeds things through a little bit. Say the bread's my main issue right now, I think. Just had a quick look here, and 51 boots. That's probably a fair few too many. I could probably change that to something else. I mean, we can send linen as well, but I've just got to bear in mind, I could send wool. We have an awful lot of it. I don't want to send things that we're going to particularly need over here, so maybe I will send some wool. I mean, that can then be turned into yarn over there, can't it? Or they could just trade it anyway. There is that too. They're going to need to be able to make a little bit of cash over there. Oh, but is the food coming up? It's 6 months still. Bread. Ugh. There's always some problem. But I think, yeah, we definitely have enough boots over here. Unless that's been changed and the boots wear out. I don't think they do specifically. I could be wrong. I think we have our communal oven now, so I'm happy to take advantage of that flour there. But look at that, 88% approval. You wouldn't have thought that at the beginning of the episode, that is for sure. We have our animal trader coming up. The only thing we're waiting for over here now, which we can actually build, is the manor. And I think, just based on how things go, I'm going to build that up here. So we shall rotate it around, and we'll get a road in, and we will need the garrison tower, but that's not something we can do just yet. And I think if we run a road, sort of something like that, there we go. Perfect. And that means more retinue. Oh, I tell you something. It's been quite a journey today. So many things have just happened. And again, the bread one's a bit of a weird one. That might be one that we look at in the next episode, because I'll have restarted the game and just see if they start churning it out a little bit more. I mean, it's not terrible. It is sort of coming through slowly but surely. But when you consider we've got 463 flour, you'd be expecting more out of this. Again, I could put some more bakers in. I mean, what do we have over in here? There's a little bit of flour in there. Yeah, most of the flour is in this granary. And And short of switching this one to a baker's, which I could well do. And what have we got in here? Goats. Yeah, do you know what? That may be a good idea. What do you think? Maybe I should make that baker's right next door to the granary. Maybe it's a logical move. No, maybe. Anyway, I think that's a good spot to end this one. I need a cup of tea after this one. We've gone from flames to, not fortunes as such, but we've not done too bad. I'm quite happy we survived. But thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Take care.